What was that? That wasn't the right thing to do. What are you going to do? Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the live stream tonight, Sunday night, 7 p.m. That's Eastern Time. Mr. Poseidon's Let's Talk Fishing. How's everybody doing tonight? If you noticed anything different, I shade for Fishaholic, you know? Such a big stud in the surf fishing and boat fishing world. Gotta look good for these guys. Anyhow, let's say hello to my lovely wife, honey. How you doing? You could do that, right?
Hi, everybody.
There she is. How you doing, honey?
Hi.
How's everything? Did I drive
Great.
you nuts today?
Totally
I mean,
nuts.
yesterday I said to my wife, listen, we got Fishaholic on. I says, Rich, that's Rich from Fishaholic. I says, we got to do everything today. I'm not doing a thing tomorrow. I want to wake up in the morning. I want to go out in the afternoon. You have a nice lunch, maybe a drink, come back home, take a nap, get up and do the show. That's exactly how it went today. It was great. I'm glad I'm on here. I'm glad my wife is here, and I'm definitely glad we got Rich from Fishaholic. He's on the standby right now. I want to say hello to everybody. Thank you for coming to the show. Anybody out there who's new, please subscribe to my channel. You can come to the show on a weekly basis. We'll have different guests and always a giveaway on the show. So let's say hello to a few people before we get started. Yeah, boy, let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. Woo. All right, so we got SoFly VA, Christopher Ortega, James Flynn, Greg Pinellas, Brooklyn Fishers, Karen Duty, Bronx Surfcaster, my brother Oscar. How you doing, baby? Ocean State Bass Fishing. Edwin Rivera, John Francesconi of the Hudson River, the king of the Hudson, the Jordan of the Hudson. Thank you, John, for your support. NorCal Cat from West Coast. From the West Coast, from NorCal Cat Lures, Orlando. He'll be on the show a little later, asking via phone live questions to Fishaholic. That's Rich. We'll call him Rich right now. So let's continue. Night Sip Fishing, Edwin Rivera. My mother, Mom, what's up? You're always
Hi,
here
Mom.
every week. I remember that first live stream. It was just you and my wife, and I love you both very much. Thank you for that. Let's keep going. Oski, happy birthday. I know it's your birthday today. Very nice. So, Striper Hunter, Brooklyn Fishers. I don't want to miss anybody, but if I did, look, I'll catch you during the show. Looking sharp. How you doing? All right, honey.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Do you want to ask anything to anybody out there? Do we have anything else to say?
Well, we're gonna bring on our guest.
That's
Let me
right.
just
We're going
make
to bring
sure
on
we're
Rich
gonna do
Fishaholic.
all-
How you doing, Rich? Welcome to the show, the Poseidon Show. Go ahead, honey.
Good. How's everyone doing?
Fabulous, buddy.
Hey.
Listen, I just want to tell you, Rich, I've been waiting for moments like these. When I have people like Bill Wetzel on and you, this is the cream of the crop right here, man. And I am so stoked for tonight. And I know a lot of the subs who are here and people who are just watching are here to see you. Thank you for coming to my show over 1 million times. I'm going to say that. I mean, you got 181,000 subscribers. I don't know what to say, but thank you very much. And let's get on with the show. So, Rich. Yeah, I'm a little psyched up. I'm a little different than yesterday. I know. Yesterday you saw me when I looked like Grizzly Adams. Today you're like, who is this guy? Anyway.
Whether you're grizzly or looking fresh like that, you pull it off.
Yeah, Rich. All right, so I want to start off by
going
saying if
on?
anybody doesn't know, Rich has been fishing all his life. I'm going to let him tell the story. How did this all start for you, Rich? Tell us.
Well, yeah, like I'm sure most people watching, I started at a young age. My dad, got bit by the fishing bug when he was like a teenager, and he didn't have the internet back in the day, so he just had thousands and thousands of books. So I was into reading and also going out fishing with my dad a lot when I was younger. And we did everything from freshwater to saltwater, whether it was, trekking into the mountains and hitting little streams or ponds, or going down to the Jersey Shore where I grew up originally in Jersey. And if it wasn't the summer, we'd be fishing the Jersey Shore. If it was summertime, we would be heading out to like Montauk, New York, where eventually I would end up living, which, was like always a dream for myself to live out there. But one cool thing that my dad and I always would do, we would pull out an old paper map, right?
Yes.
And we would pick any river or pond or anything that we haven't fished before, and we would fish it every single day until we put together the puzzle and figured it out. And then we would look at this pond, one pond that we learned, and we would look at a river that flows out of it. We would fish that river, and then and once we figured that out, we would follow the pond or the river to another body of water, fish that until we broke the puzzle. And then, fast forward up until I got into high school, I started having other friends, surround me that love to fish, and it'd be funny. I'd have friends come up to me and be like, "Hey, I found this amazing lake or pond. You have to come fish it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's go hit it." And I'd be like, "Oh, I've been here before. I fished this when I was 10. I know, so I would, outfish my buddies or something like that." But how the channel got started is so right before I went to college, I was a senior in high school. One of my friends, Joe, him and I got into spearfishing. And it's some really cool stuff, when you're diving and swimming, in the realm of the fish that you're catching, typically when you're above the surface. But then once you go under the water, you're in a completely different world. And I wanted to capture that more or less on film. And I filmed a couple okay videos doing it. It was probably the worst videos I've ever filmed because I was a fisherman trying to mess with the camera. And then I went up to college and started fishing in New England, Rhode Island waters a lot because I went to Johnson and Wales in Providence, Rhode Island. And I would go down to the shore, and the first day that I started fishing, I got on a hot bite. It was catching stripers every cast up to 18 pounds, 20 pounds or so. And my dad was always been my best fishing buddy for the longest time, and he was the first person that I would call or text, be like, "Oh, I caught all these fish."
Right.
And and he'd tell his cousins or family members that they all also fish too, and none of them would believe me. They'd be like, "Oh, where's the pictures? Where's the videos?" And I'm like, I threw everything back, and I don't have any. So I went back that day. I still remember that day. I went home and I was like, I have a GoPro now because I bought it for spearfishing. Why don't I wear it on my head or my chest?
Sure.
And I played around a little bit. I had it on my chest, but for surf fishing, the view was a little too low, and also the sea spray would always hit it. So and kayak fishing too. So I started wearing it on my head. So whenever I'm out fishing, I look like a dork, so I could bring my videos to you guys.
I have to cut you off right there. You said a lot right there, and I know there's a lot of things I want to ask in between. So you said right now with the dork part with the head, I totally get it because I wear it too. I got the dork look, but the videos are a little better quality than your chest. The chest, the spray, and just getting a higher view is always better. So I understand that about you. So you said that you went to college, and I asked you if it's okay with you, if you could tell them what you majored in, which was...
Well, I went to school for entrepreneurism and business administration. I was getting a business degree, and then, I was also getting the entrepreneurial classes because I knew that one day I would want to start my own business or, be self-employed in some way. And the last 4 or 5 years now, I've been doing that just with fishing, which it's not easy to do, but I'm happy every single day.
Right.
I never feel like I'm, working a day in my life, and the last 5 years or so. And now that the channel is growing, I'm allowed to do a lot more and create more interesting content and higher quality. A couple of years ago, I was able to buy a drone, and I know some of you guys watching really love that.
Love it.
Area view content. It just brings up the quality a lot, more. And it's something that I would say that in the past, normal people like us couldn't do that. You had to have a fancy camera,
absolutely,
set up and thousands and thousands of dollars. But thankfully, because of technology, all you really need is a couple GoPro cameras and a drone or something like that. And I did have a mirrorless Sony mirrorless camera, but that sadly rests at the bottom of the Florida Keys somewhere.
So sad. Which Sony was it, by the way? Because I got 6 of them in this room.
Oh, really? Okay. I love Sony cameras, but
I know they started with the 5,000s, then they went over to the 6,000s, where I'm in that, and I think they're heading over now. I don't know where they're heading, but obviously they want us to buy a new camera every other week. It's kind of ridiculous, but very satisfied with what I have.
And I was going to buy another DSLR camera after I lost that one, but I lost that one right at the cusp when like GoPro started making like the Hero 8s and Hero 9s. So those cameras are actually like really high, like they are filled with so much technology, and the quality is so good compared to the older GoPros that I used to film with, like the Hero 4. If you go way back on my channel and see some of my older videos, you can compare the quality from like the older GoPros that I was wearing back when I was in college and stuff, to like what it is now. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. My original was a 5. I started with that. I've done, I'd say 85% of my videos with that. And I just had the chance to upgrade to the new model, which was a 10, which had come out. And I had spoken to a couple of people, and I don't want to buy a camera that's going to be like a mirrorless camera with all this, fix this and make sure that's right and hit that button. I want a camera to just put, because you know how it is. You're catching a fish, and now you got to turn on the camera or speak to it. I don't even talk to it anymore because sometimes it would shut off in the middle. It would mistake my voice, but you understand. So I went with an 8, easy going, and that's it.
Yeah, I love the Hero 8, and until this year, for like 3 years or 2 years, I was using a Hero 7 and a Hero 8. So I skipped from a Hero 4 GoPro and then bought a 7 and then an 8. And the Hero 8 just finally shit the bed. And the Hero 7 still works here and there, but I upgraded and got the 9 and the 10. And if anyone out there watching, I would recommend getting the 9 if you are contemplating getting any of those cameras. I don't work with them in any way, but that's just my personal opinion. And one of the big reasons is both are like the same quality, same like stabilization, everything. But the Hero 10 overheats a lot. So if you think you're going to be wearing a camera and or just having it fixed somewhere on your boat or kayak and just have it record the whole time, it'll turn off after like 40 minutes or something of just running, and I find that to be kind of annoying, especially for someone that films as much as I do. I know it's gonna eventually it's gonna overheat, and I'm gonna miss like something epic. So.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally understand.
A lot of comments coming in. Everybody loves his videos.
Everybody loves your videos, including me. And I want to tell everybody.
And the camera here on my laptop. I'm trying to multitask.
Yeah.
I hear you. I want to let you know that, I know what you're going through when it comes to filming. The amount of detail you put in, and when I say detail, setting up the camera and then walking by it. Now you got to walk back, get it. Now I've gotten a lot of my ideas from you. I would, set up the camera and then walk away, walk around the corner. Now I got to walk all the way back up the hill, pick up the camera, and then later on you edit everything together. So not only that, the drone, Rich, it takes a lot of work. It takes time away from fishing. It really does. So you get it looks easy when it's all shown in beautiful videos again, but that all takes time and work. I commend you for that, because myself, I might be averaging maybe, I would say, how many videos? Say about a video every 2 weeks I'm averaging. You put out almost 2 videos a week, am I correct?
Or sometimes 3.
Wow.
I like to try and, if I have a lot of content, on the burner, basically already uploaded to YouTube and, waiting to go up, I try to post on Sunday mornings, Wednesday, and Friday evenings.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good times.
Days I like to post, and I feel like the way I look at it is okay, Sunday, say if you want had a bad weekend fishing, you didn't catch anything, okay, come home, relax, maybe watch my videos of me, catching some fish, and that'll motivate you more to get out there during the week or next weekend.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is kind of like that hump day, midday, like kind of stress, relief. Like, okay, like it's almost fishing time, it's coming. And then Friday I post, and maybe if say you're prepping for the weekend, if you're watching, it'll like give you motivation to get out there and hit it hard. So
I'm going to tell everybody out there, making 3 videos a week, 3, and going out there filming and fishing and catching and hope to catch and all the rest that comes with it is a lot of work. It is a job, Rich. I understand it. A lot of people don't really understand it. And I'm not judging anybody right now, but a lot of people don't understand it. They think it's easy. But what you do is a job, and if you don't consider it a job, I don't think you'll grow like you've been growing, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say the hardest thing out of what I do is like you said, like setting up the cameras, or even sometimes I'm on a hot bite and I'm catching a lot of fish, but I'm like, man, I don't have this shot and this shot to complete the video. So I have to like fight every cell in my body telling me to take another cast, to put the rod down, to fly the drone, or to put the camera over here, just to get a different shot that I think will look better in the video or on camera, just so like the experience of the watcher is better.
Right.
And I look at it as like a lot of what I do, like, or what I started filming originally because I wanted to show like what my family, what I was catching, like when I was away in college, and any of my friends, that like anybody that didn't believe me, I wanted to show them what I was catching. And when I made the videos, I didn't really know what to do with it once I taught myself how to edit it. So I first just uploaded it to YouTube, and I made it public because I was like, oh, like then I could just send a link to whoever and they can watch it. So like then when other people started tuning in and watching, then I was like, I really enjoy this. I like hearing the feedback, and people seem to like it, so I just kept doing it. And I wasn't making, like, in college, I wasn't making like any money doing it. I just did it out of passion.
Sure.
And I still do it out of passion. I mean, I love to do it.
I was going to say, Rich, also with the money making, people think that just because you have a channel on YouTube, and let's just say you do have 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, you don't make all that money, guys. It's what you put into it, and it's the more you put into it, the more you can get out of it. It's not, like Rich just said, he does it more out of passion. He loves fishing. We wouldn't watch his channel if the guy didn't really love fishing. You can tell the guy loves fishing. But just to give you guys an example of where Mr. Poseidon is in this game right now. So I've been doing this a little over 2 years, Rich, and I got basically 1,400 subscribers. You gave me about 15 tonight. Thank you very much. For me, that's a big jump. Thank you. So basically, with me, here I am now. I made 1,000 subscribers in September, and I finally started to get paid by YouTube. And YouTube started paying me, and they asked me, well, what do you want to get paid in? $50, $100, $500 increments? So I told them, pay me in $1,000 increments. Just to give you guys an example, September I started getting paid. I'm up to $595 as we stand today. That's where I'm at. So if you feel YouTube is going to make you money, make you lots of money, do it. Well, I tell everybody, do it, because I know how much work it requires. It really requires a lot of work. Yes, tell me.
Like, to go into YouTube, like, you have to have a passion for, like, I tell I get a lot of people that email me or comment or, like, write DMs to me, and I try to get to all of them, but you don't go into YouTube thinking you're gonna like that's what you want to make a career, or like I never thought of it that way. You want to go in because you love, like, have a passion that you want to share and you really love about that, and that's gonna help. That's gonna carry you further than just making money on it, because like there's a lot of people that I know that just went into it to try and make money, and then they did it for like a couple months and then they stopped, and then they never saw any return on it.
Correct.
And like if you have a passion for skateboarding, surfing, like in my case fishing, or anything like that, like you can if you then start making videos and you find, like in my case, like wow, like I really love to make videos now. Like I found a second passion for myself, in this whole YouTube game.
Yes, me too.
And that's what kind of turned
Yes.
my channel into what it is. So
Yeah.
yeah,
like I said, Rich, I know, and I follow you very much on everything you do, and I try to replicate, and everything takes work. So I totally understand when you're talking, when what you're saying, everything about YouTube. Go ahead, honey.
A couple questions. Danny D. Morales is asking, is Rich affiliated with J&H Tackle? The rods they sell, are they the Fishaholic series?
Was it named after
named
him?
after you?
Yeah, just the Fishaholic series, Dark Matter rods I'm affiliated with, but Dark Matter also has like their whole other side of the brand that they just have like their specific stuff. Same thing with like the John Skinner Dark Matter rods.
Exactly.
Like,
Okay.
it's kind of all under the same.
Yeah, I have a couple of your plugs, your Dark Matter plugs that you use.
It's kind of the same deal. Anything that has my logo on it or Fishaholic on it, the drinking fish.
Yes, yes.
It's something that I personally sat down and like had a hand in, like with designing and coming up with the colors and
Excellent.
In a fishing rod's case, like the guides and the wrapping on the handles and the reel seat and stuff like that. So, and I've got something cool to show you. I did a little teaser on my Instagram, but this right here, if you're a Florida fisherman, or even if you're come down to Florida a lot, or even the Carolinas, this is going to be the new like mackerel Fishaholic, or not mackerel, sorry, mullet. This is going to be the new like mullet Fishaholic mullet shad, and it's going to have some holographic eyes on it, which aren't,
nice.
They're not, this is just a prototype. But what's kind of cool is I was out 2 nights ago, and I was using a pearl white one, a little bit bigger, so like I think the 5-inch model, and slayed the snook. Like the snook were eating it like crazy in the dark. So that was awesome to see.
Beautiful.
It has a really good like vibration action.
Love that.
And believe it or not, it actually outfished I threw the original or the current Fishaholic Finback shad out.
Yes.
It might have just been the color because I didn't have white. I didn't Wonder Bread or anything. I only had the natural olive over white color. So then I threw the white mullet Fishaholic shad on just the prototype, and it was like every cast I was getting a bite.
Nice.
I think I was catching like 8 or 10 snook. But nothing big. I did have a big one on, but of course I lost it. I wanted to,
we talked a lot about the filming and the YouTube. I definitely want to talk more about fishing, about Montauk. But before we do that, I want to tell you, I know you caught that giant snook in Florida. You had that on video. I think it was 47. Am I right?
No, it was 41 inches.
41. Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah.
But, that was a nice fish you got that night, man.
Yeah, and I caught it all on film, and
it
was actually really cool. It was midday, and I was kind of like sight fishing with live mullet, and I saw this shadow swimming across, and the fish looked maybe like, it looked like a 25-inch fish or something, and then I pitched the bait. And then just saw the mullet disappear, and then I set the hook because I was just using an octopus Gamakatsu bait hook. I wasn't using a circle hook, so I set it hard, and then the snook just comes jumping out of the water, but it was so big it could only get half of its body out of the water. And luckily, I was in the kayak and I was fishing around some docks, and I had to like follow that snook under like 2 docks until eventually I got out of the kayak and chased it down, and I got it in the net.
I saw you that night. That was one of the happiest times I've seen you. I mean, all your videos, I would say 80% of them, you're very serious. You tell everything like it is, the tides, everything, where the drops are, where the sandbars, everything. We know everything. But when you catch a fish, Rich, That's when you see the true Rich come out. I never saw you happier that day, man. You were so happy.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that was. I was
good
thinking
one.
about even getting that fish, getting like a fiberglass mount to that, because that was my first over 40-inch snook. So get something like kind of like
Sure,
that blue.
sure.
And
They don't.
There's a cool story behind this. This is kind of a replica of. It was like my first like big fluke that I caught out of my first kayak when I was like 11, and I was fishing Montauk Harbor, right? And at the time, no one knew that was like a hot spot for fluke, and like I was really young, and don't tell anyone if anyone knows Gossman's Dock in Montauk.
Okay.
Basically, right on the water there, and by the inlet, and I would fish on that dock at nighttime.
Right.
And there was one day that I had some eels left over from night fishing, so I woke up at like 3 a.m., hopped out of the truck. I was camping in the truck with my dad, and I started throwing the eels off Gossman's Dock. And I'm reeling them in, and I'm getting these hard thumps, and I'm like, setting the hook in nothing. And then I reeled it in slowly, and I saw this big fluke holding onto it. So I ended up taking the eel, cutting the head off, and filleting the eel and making like strip baits, like probably like 8 inches long. And in 3 casts, I caught a 4, a 5, and a 6-pound fluke right off the dock there. So I brought him back, and I showed my dad. He's waking up. I'm like, holy shit, look at these 3 flukes. So we ate good that night, and went to a place where they cooked up the fish. But then the next day, I went out in the kayak in the harbor, and I must have caught like 60 fluke on strips of eel. And then the last one of the day was like a 7.25 pound fluke, which for an 11-year-old, that was a big fish. And so that's like the replica of that, which is not a double like digit doormat, but for a kid that was a big fish.
Sure it is.
And then I also have another one that's a striped bass, which when I was around the same age, I caught a lot of stripers, and I was always trying to beat like that 28-inch mark to try and get like my first over keeper size.
Sure.
And I would always get like 27 and a half, 27 and 3/4 inch. And then I still remember I went down to Montauk Inlet again, midday in June. And I was walking along the inlet rocks, and there were like 10 fish, all like mid 30-inch to like 45 inches, sitting in the harbor like carp. And something I've never seen, or I haven't seen like something like that in a while. And I threw a little metal lure. It was called not a deadly dick. It was called a needle eel. It looks like a sand eel.
Yes,
it was so heavy, I would cast it and it would just skip across the surface. But I guess the fish gods were on my side that day, because I made a cast, was reeling it, and it was skipping on the surface, and then this 20-pound fish came up and just sucked it in. And I'm like, yelling down the rocks to my dad, and the line zipping out, and I caught that fish on, I think, 15-pound fire line at the time.
You were ready then, brother.
We didn't really use Power Pro yet. It was like Fireline, and then we used, like Seagar fluorocarbon still.
Yes.
And I think the leader was like 20 pound. So that was my first like keeper size fish, and got some cool pictures, and I actually did keep that fish too. I'll be honest. I wanted to throw it back, but by the time I got a couple pictures, it didn't want it. It was too late. So we and my dad helped me land it.
Sure.
And he's a big guy, so not like that, but like tall and big, like big and tall. And he couldn't grab the fish and lift them up by the lip, so we gilled them. But yeah, that was we ate every inch of that fish, and it was a good memory. And I got a good picture. And
yeah, I've seen a lot of your videos. You do a lot of catch and cook. You show us how to cook it too. I love your your favorite palanca, right?
What's that?
What is that, palanca? What was that, bread crust? That
panko.
Panko, there you go. I'm calling it palanca. I destroy the language.
What was that?
like to say I'd like to say I'm a very conservative fisherman, but
Right.
in the end of the day, I look at it as we all got to eat, and if I'm going to eat something, I'd rather it be fresh fish than anything at a supermarket. You know,
Correct.
I fish very conservatively. I only really take what I'm going to eat.
Correct.
You know, usually. But
Basically, you're following the law, Rich, and that's what everybody should be doing. As long as you follow the law, you won't have a problem. Nobody out there should bother anybody or judge anybody, especially when they're following the law. Now, if they're not following the law, I remember that video. I think there was a guy fishing, and you were like, I wonder if he's going to keep that. And you walked up to him. Do you remember that video?
Yeah, I called it like catching a poacher red-handed.
Yes.
And to be honest, I wasn't gonna say anything to the guy, but like when you're trying to hide a fish so like bad or blatantly obvious, like he was digging holes in the sand and burying the fish alive in the sand, and I was like, he's doing it like right in front of me. Like he could have just like waited until I left, and then he could have kept the next dozen schoolies that he had, or whatever.
Right.
You know, like I'm sure he had more fish buried under the sand that I didn't see. But I mean, it's not like I'm a game warden or anything. But,
right. But that
was in New Jersey, along the Raritan River, I called the DEC, but they never picked up or anything. So.
They come down to the Hudson when I see people, I walk up to them. I'm like, look, man, you can only keep one fish. You had your catch, throw that one back. If they don't throw it back, I'm not a fighter or anything. I walk away, I call the DC, and I just point them out right there. I do the duty that every surf fisherman do, especially if you want this industry or our sport or our love or our hobby or whatever you want to call it, to get to that next generation. We all have to work together. And like Rich just said, he's not a game warden or anything, but he's trying to help the situation. And sometimes just speaking and doing could get you the right results that you want without a problem. So if they don't, I don't suggest fighting anything like that. Call the DEC and let them do the job.
Yeah, no violence or anything.
Right.
All I did is I said something like, oh, the fish have to be this size, or that's a short fish, and then
right.
And he ended up digging. He dug the fish out with his foot, and then he kicked it in the water, which is not much better. But
yeah, right.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's. I want to get back a little bit into. I'm sorry, Richard. You want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I just said poor little striper, but
yeah, poor little striper.
Maybe one day that striper will be a 50-pounder.
Right, and he'll come back. He'll take a swim in the water, and he'll suck that guy down.
Yeah. I have a video way back when I lived in Providence and I was in college, and it was in the winter time in February. There was a striper that was snagged on some guy must have snagged it, and then it wrapped around a buoy.
Oh, no kidding.
It was in the Providence River, and I jumped in the river in a bathing suit in February. The water was like 30 degrees, 32 degrees. Froze my ass off, but I was able to clip the line and unhook the striper and throw him back. So I'd like to hope that fish will be a trophy one day.
Yeah, right. There you go. You got a good attitude, man. I like to dream like that too, and definitely everybody out there, that dreams do come true. Definitely do come true. So I want to get back to you and to Montauk a little bit and talk about Montauk and how your career started there, because I know your YouTube channel basically started with the Montauk. That's how I found you. I fished Montauk. I looked it up, and you were the first one I saw. I think I was in the 18,000 subscriber range of when I found you and joined. And, so tell me, how did that start in Montauk with you?
Well, so I've been fishing out in Montauk and going out there for vacation, since I was like a little kid. Or my mom has baby pictures of me by the lighthouse. And once I got around 8, 9 years old, and my dad saw that I had that passion, me and him, would go out there basically every month throughout the summer. So June we'd go out for a week, July and August, September, October. And we weren't like staying in hotels or anything. We would camp. We would most of the time camp in the truck and rough it and just fish every day, and like night and day we would fish. And we would also have like a week-long family trip where then we would get a hotel and my sisters would come out and my mom and everything, and I would still fish day in and day out every night.
Right.
We would stay at the East Deck Hotel. I don't know, motel, if anyone is familiar with that name. But yeah, and as the years went on, we actually started to get to know a lot of the locals out in Montauk, especially me and my dad, and we ended up becoming friends with who I consider to be like my Montauk father, like a second father to me. His name is Captain Dave Colas.
Yes. And
he ran a charter boat out there, which was a 50-foot Rybovich. And before that, he had a 48-foot Whitaker, a 45-foot Whitaker, and they're both like sport fishing kind of yachts, like kind of like a nicer charter boat, like not, you know, like an all glass. It's like those are all wood boats, like because they were from the 1950s, 1960s. Anyway, yeah, he saw my passion as well. So as I started getting older, like 16, he would invite me out to like work as a mate on the boat and stuff like that. And you know, he would let me stay on his boat. So I wasn't even I would go out there just to fish. I wasn't getting paid or anything. I would just mate for free, you know, because I loved it. I loved being on the water, just being in Montauk. You know, like that was my place I always wanted to live. You know, growing up. And then you know, college came along, and you know, I completed my freshman year, started filming, went home for summer vacation back in Jersey, and you know, I had a dock attendant job, and then Captain Dave called me out, and he's like, "Hey, I need you to come out and work for me as a mate." So I ended up going out there, and I worked out there for like my first month on that boat, and you know, when I wasn't working, I was filming. You know, I was just filming for fun because I wanted to show my friends and family still what I was catching. And then at the end of that summer season, I had to go back to college, but he's like, "Hey, do you want to come back out and work the full season for me? Like, I'll hold the job for you." And I was like, "Yeah, like I would love to live in Montauk and be out here." And so I sacrificed anything else I was doing elsewhere to be like, "Yeah, this is what I'm doing. Is I'm going back to school, and then I'm coming back to Montauk like as soon as it's you know, as soon as it's like May, I went out to Montauk and I was just living out there. I was fishing in my own time, either in the kayak or the surf, and then I was fishing on this boat, working as a mate. And it, you know, it was great through college. I mean, I made good money. You know, me and the captain did butt heads a lot at times.
Okay.
In terms of like. You know, I was always very conservative with fishing, so like I was always the person. I would walk around and ask the customers, "Oh, like you already have like 2 of these fish. Are you sure you?"
Oh, the captain loved you.
No, like, and then he started to see through to what I was saying, though. When we would have some customers that we would get back with, say, like a limit of fish. And they'd be like, "Oh, we only want to take 2." And I'd be like, "Captain Dave, you see, this is why I always I wanted to ask the customers what they want all the time, you know, because they only are taking 2. Now we have these extra 2 fish or 3 fish here that I have to flay up, and then nothing would ever go to waste, but I would then distribute it.
Sure.
You know, to whoever wants it. You know, a lot of times you're giving it away for free because you can't sell it once it's filleted up like that. So, you know, that was part of my job, was to try and be like the most conservative fishing mate, you know, I ever met.
Right.
And it would make my day more releasing the fish, you know, so that was always like my goal. But eventually Captain Dave helped me get my own captain's license, and YouTube started taking traction where I was making money consistently. And that eventually led to me kind of more or less doing that full time. And then my last summer working on that boat, I was doing that kind of like on and off. And then I was just doing YouTube.
Sure.
And then at the end of that season, I bought my first like real like biggerish boat, which is my 24-foot Fish
Beautiful,
Master
by the way.
console. And then last summer I ran charters on it, and then I also used that just to film a lot more on the boat, other than doing just surf fishing, because through my
Correct.
college years and before I had that boat, I was mostly just surf fishing and kayak fishing, and although I love doing that, I just wanted to do something different, So
Correct.
I hope that any of you guys watching and like the boating content.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest, and it's not bad. It's all good. I have nothing but good to say about you. But I'm gonna be honest. Well, I was watching you, and I'd watch you religiously, and I'd watch all your videos, and all of a sudden, you left. You were gone, and then the boat came in the picture, and I was heartbroken a little. I was a little heartbroken. I think I wrote you in one of the messages. Do you miss the surf? I miss seeing you on the surf. But, I get it. I get it. And what you're doing, I think, is better because you get to experience every kind of fishing there is, man. Whatever you're doing out there, keep doing it because it's great. I know I love your content, and everybody else out there loves your content. It's why you have so many subscribers. Your videos tell the story. But again, not about me and not about this right now. I want to go back to Montauk with you. I liked also you got into the kayak and you started going out on the kayak. Now, because of you, I went and I wanted to purchase a kayak. I watched a few videos on YouTube with kayaks, and I've watched guys bring back half a bluefish, just the head of a striper, and that was enough for me. I won't even go swishing, buddy. So I will not. I can't. I can't catch a tuna and have it ride me around for a half hour. I would never be able to. I can't hack it, so I didn't get one.
When I got into kayak fishing when I was like 11 or 12, and that's actually when I started kayak fishing off Montauk when I was that young, before I started filming. And there wasn't really a big shark thing. Now that the waters are getting warmer, there's more and more sharks that are off Montauk, and now like nowadays, like once it hits like mid-July, a lot of guys go to Block Island to catch bigger stripers or further north.
Yeah.
Back when I was that young, you didn't need to. Like there were stripers there, big, all the way till the fall or through the fall, from May all the way through. And I mean, ocean temperatures are definitely warming, and they're definitely changing the fishing. Now I feel like stripers are migrating further north.
Right.
But
there is that but though, Rich. When
I started as a kid when I was like 11 or 12. I didn't tell my mom that I was kayaking off the light, or my dad and me had an agreement. We wouldn't tell my mom I was kayaking off the lighthouse at all until I was 17. Then she found out, and she couldn't believe it. She almost had a heart attack.
Right. I know especially now with the lighthouse right now. I was there about a month ago, and I was fishing the lighthouse, and they got all the new rocks up. What I do like is that they seem to have like a second level now, which drops down. Hopefully that'll make it better for a lot of us. It's a little closer to the water than it was. Still dangerous. Still got to have the longest leader you can handle. I like putting on 3.5. But like you said,
corkers. You gotta have your corkers on.
Corkers.
And, I've seen some scary stuff under the lights there, or under the lighthouse. I mean, I've got a story when I was like 14, 13 maybe. I was out there in the fall with my dad and his two cousins, and I was below the rocks, and it was like every cast, gator, bluefish, or like a 35-inch striper. Every cast, they were blitzing.
Yeah.
And that was around the time when it was like every day it was like either in the morning or at dusk. Every day it was acres and acres of blitzing fish. But I saw a guy try to, he tried to de-hook a fish, a bluefish, without pliers, and he had a pencil popper way down in the bluefish's throat.
Oh no!
Stuck his hand down there, and I made a cast, and it scared me how loud this guy screamed. It's like screaming bloody murder, and then I look over and there's blood all over the rock. Oh. And I had to run over and give him my pliers, and when I gave him my pliers, his thumb was just hanging on.
Oh.
I hope no one gets grossed out, but
yeah.
Yeah, that
You
I'm okay
ruined
with
it. You
blood.
ruined the stream tonight, Rich. Why? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but those teeth, they are super sharp, and all you need is to do is rub your hand back and forth, just like this, and you're done. Those things will slice you.
I've had customers on the boat. They tried to lip bluefish.
Oh.
You know, like luckily the bluefish kept its mouth closed.
Yeah.
But like I looked over, and I'm like, no, don't do that. You know, and like I was like, you lost your finger. I call them vice grips with teeth. You know,
Sure.
And, you gotta. You know, the big ones, you just have to worry about biting you. The little ones, you just have to worry about getting a hook in you, especially if you're out there at night and you hook a little one that's flipping all around, then, you know, you got to let them tire themselves out, and then you got to, you know, grab them and, you know, get the hook out of them and throw them back or keep them or whatever. But, I've also seen guys under the lighthouse wearing rubber boots, you know, and with no spikes or anything, and like I'm like walking by the top of the rocks, and this guy slips, and he throws his rod, and then he's holding onto the rock as his legs are like going off the top of the rocks. And if you haven't been to Montauk Lighthouse, it's like a 30-foot drop.
It's like a 30-foot drop.
Before they redid it, it was just a 30-foot straight drop. And I told him, I was like, yeah, you need spikes like these, and like I showed him, and I bet you that very same day or the next day he went and bought those.
Yeah, and he went in there and he said to the guy, "Do you have spikes?" And the guy goes, "What are you talking about? Spikes? Oh, you're talking about corkers. Oh, I got you. I get it. All right. So a lot of us have started watching you on Montauk, like myself. You've progressed on now. I know you don't live up in the Northeast. You've made your home destination down south now, correct?
I did, yeah. It was a tough decision to make, but after like 3 or 4 winters, I think, coming down to Florida and fishing, and then going back up to Montauk and just seeing like the expense of living up there compared to living down here, I was like, you know, maybe it wouldn't hurt to do it the opposite way. Like, why not visit the Northeast and live down here? So that's what I decided to do this year. And so far I've loved it. And I'm trying to plant roots somewhere where I could, like, say, buy a house and then work a little bit harder and then maybe get something up north so that I can go back and forth and not have to rent.
Beautiful.
When I was living in Montauk, I was, you know, renting, and living out there is very, very expensive.
Very, buddy.
Know, and last year I rented a pretty bad place just to live out there. It was worth it. To run my boat and to film and stuff, but it just wasn't. I didn't love it, so
gotcha.
I was like, "What? Let me try something different." And you know, I wanted to learn these waters even more, and I wanted to spend the summer down here. And it is as hot as they say down here in the summer, but I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, and also I want to emphasize before Rich continues, you know, Montauk is a beautiful place. It's probably my most favorite place to fish out there. Remember, guys and ladies, you never know when that fickle, what is it called? The fickle finger of John knows it. He gave it. But anyway, you never know when the fish is going to strike. And, you know, again, I have lots of people that also fish Montauk. I know a few townies I mentioned to you over there, really nice guys who take me around. And they catch fish out there, not because they have that secret spot, because those guys are out there hustling 5 days a week, or we say grinding, not hustling. And they do catch nice fish, but the truth is it's not in abundance like before. But then again, it's not in abundance anywhere you go. You always have to put in a grind. Yeah, we'll get in the blitz and we'll get on the fish. But remember, in the surf fishing world, you do have to put a bit of a grind. You do have to take that little extra walk. And sometimes it can be very, very, or all the time, it can be very, very rewarding when you finally do get on a nice fish.
For sure. Yeah, that's what I love about Montauk is you can trek for miles and miles down a beach on the south side or north side and not see anyone, and just find your own fish. And you know, unfortunately, the good old days are kind of behind us. But I think with the new slot size, 28 to 35 inches, I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more numbers of the schoolies and the bigger size fish. And you know, I still remember when I was a kid, like walking along the south side, any rock that was sticking out of the water that was way out there,
I get it. Yeah.
cast that, and it was every single cast you would catch a fish. And you know, in the middle of the day, you'd be catching every cast fish like 30 inches to like 20 pounds, and then if you fished at night, you'd catch, it would be the same thing, but it would be all big ones.
Yeah, 10 pounds
And,
plus.
Yeah, and it also might have something to do with the water temperature or overfishing. It's probably all, you know, it all contributes to where we are right now.
Right.
But all we can do is just be conservative about it, and try to pass that down to our friends who get into fishing, or if you're a father or, you know, mother that's teaching your kids to fish, then you pass down the same conservative nature. And yes, harvest fish. I mean, who doesn't love to eat fish? I love to eat fish more than, you know, anything else, any other kind of protein or meat.
Sure.
But
Love it.
you know, no overfishing. You know, you don't
Right.
need to, you know, illegally fish or take more than what you need. You know.
Absolutely.
I have a question from Ocean
Yeah.
State Bass Fishing. Wants to know, Rich, what do you like better, Northeast stripers or Southern tarpon? LOL. How do they compare?
I mean, like, if I'm being honest, I love striped bass. I think a little more because, like, in terms, like, tarpon get way bigger.
Huge.
And I actually just edited a video today where, you know, that I fought this giant tarpon for an hour. So this is an upload that's coming up soon.
Nice.
And it's almost like too much. Where and you can't. It's not like you can use like tuna tackle to catch them, because you have to use like lighter stuff to catch them. So that's what extends the fight. I mean, like, if you could use tuna tackle like to catch them, you could probably catch them a lot quicker. But they won't eat then.
Sure.
You know, but like striped bass, I think is like the perfect combination of, like, you can use like medium heavy tackle, and you can catch fish of, you know, this big or, you know, 40, 50 inches and not be like totally dead, you know, in the end of the day. And, you know, like if I'm just specifically targeting tarpon, I'd prefer just to target the ones that are like 40 inches to like 50 inches, because you can, like, they're easier to manage and handle.
Sure.
You know, when you start getting into like the tarpon that are like upwards to like 100 pounds, like the one I caught last week or had on, I didn't even touch the leader, you know, unfortunately, but you know, I caught him for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like back-breaking and
See, a lot.
you know,
I'm
kind of
gonna.
pain in the butt.
Yeah, I see what you're saying on that, because you know what? A lot of us, Rich, have never caught tarpon before. And we watch these YouTube videos and we see the fights and we're like, wow, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, I want to do that. That looks like so much fun. But you just gave a realistic picture on bigger fish. There's a huge fight that comes along with that. And especially, I mean, I get it. After a half hour, you're sitting there and you're still doing it. It's like, all right, let me just get this fish and I want to see how big it is and let it and release it. This big fish, you could have a nice 15, 20-minute battle on your hands if it's a big enough of a fish, right? But it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be an hour like a tarpon or anything like that.
Yeah. And it can just take a lot out of you, and you know, it's like I've caught tuna on spinning tackle, and at least with tuna you can use like 100-pound leader, you can use like, you know, 100-pound braid or 80-pound braid,
right?
And you know, you can catch tuna, like, which tuna pull way harder than tarpon, but you can beef up your tackle a lot more to catch them. Well, unless you're night fishing. If you're fishing at night for the bigger tarpon, it's a different story. You can use heavier tackle.
Right.
But I mean, I was down in the Keys a couple winters ago. I was using tuna tackle on some tarpon, and when you're fishing around some bridges, like, there's no way to stop them. You know, like, you know, it's like hooking into a tuna. When you're hooking into a tuna, though, you're in the open ocean. You just let them go wherever.
Correct.
You know, but if a tarpon is big enough and he's by a bridge, forget about it.
Wow. Pretty cool.
But I don't want to deter anyone. Like, if you have to caught a tarpon, you got to catch a tarpon.
That's it. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
If I could name 4 species, if you're from the South, or if you're from the North, or if you're from Mid-Atlantic, you gotta catch striped bass, redfish, snook, and tarpon. Like those 4 big inshore species, you gotta catch within your lifetime. Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it.
And then you can also talk about Jack Crevalle and like stuff like that. Like that, they're also really fun, and
nice
tuna and stuff. But that's tuna are offshore, but it's all good stuff.
Excellent. I'm going to take a 30-second break here with you. I want to show everybody what is going on at the end of the show. I have a Scabellys lure here. It's a metal lip, you could see. This has been given by Godfather Greg. That's _fishing. It was gifted to him last week to give out on the giveaway. This will be given away at the end of the show. If you left a comment on the bottom of last week's live stream, what is it, Ron? Is that it, right?
Yeah, last week's stream.
Last week's stream. You're in the drawing at the end of the show. We'll run the wheel, and one lucky winner will take this home. You have to be here, and you do have to be over 18. So other than that, good luck to everybody on that. And next week's giveaway, I'll show you really quick. We have a single tube bag. Inside this tube, I have a nice lure in here. We'll be revealing that during the week on Instagram. But after this video is up, you can leave a comment on the bottom of this video, and next week we will be giving this away. Ebbpoint, you make excellent product, buddy. This is a single tube bag. Very nice. I like it very much myself. I bought one for myself. I also have some other nice giveaways. I also bought some leader bags from him. Just some good stuff. Makes a good product. Thank you for that very much, Ebbpoint. Thanks so much, buddy. All right, so going back to Rich. Rich, thank you again for showing up to the show. Rich, that's Fishaholic Fishing on YouTube. You guys know him. Makes beautiful video. Yeah.
There's a guy, Edwin. I wanted to answer his question.
Yes.
One of my best subscribers. He loves you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to pull it up too. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So on my VS 250, I have 40-pound braid, and I used to use a 10-foot rod for surf fishing, but I downsized to a 9-foot because I didn't feel like I needed the 10-foot. I actually used the 10-foot when I was younger and I was a kid, but I switched to a 9-foot because I felt like I could get away with it, and and it felt fine for me. And if I was fishing at night versus the daytime I would fish like 40 to 50, nighttime I would fish 60.
Wow.
So 60-pound leader.
Pretty cool.
But with a heavy action 9-foot or 10-foot, I didn't really feel any difference. So
very cool.
And some falls I would switch actually to 30-pound braid, so I would get more distance. And there were many times I was at the lighthouse below Montauk Lighthouse, and I was casting that extra 10 or 15 feet further, even with a 9-foot rod, and I was, guys around me with longer rods, and I was still catching fish every cast, and they weren't. They're casting over me, and their lures flying across my line. But.
All right. So we talked about pretty much how this started, how you made your move down to Florida. Can you tell us anything? Now, I'm going to have a little session where we're going to ask you questions. I have a couple of callers that are on the side here waiting to ask you a few questions. But I want to ask you, before we get to that, what are you up to now in the future, Rich? What does the future hold for you, for YouTube, for you as fishing? Anything that you have planned? Any surprises?
Well, so I want to definitely try to keep coming out with new and different lures, and that's like my future goal that's on my mind every day, whether it be like my own type of darter, more types of soft plastics. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is another sneak peek of the Fishaholic, the mullet shad coming soon.
Put it up again, Rich. Put it up. I got you alone. They can see it better now. I put you up alone. Put that up again.
Okay. little.
There you go.
You're just
Beauty.
tuned in, sneak peek at the Fishaholic Mullet Chat. It's just a prototype, so it's gonna have holographic eyes and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's like kind of like my future goals, and then I also want to start running some charters down here in Florida just to kind of do it a little bit. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me that they want to book my boat, and I have my captain's license, I could do it, but I have to get a license to do it. In the state you're doing charters and stuff like that. And and then I just want to like keep traveling and creating new content in different areas. I feel like a lot of the viewers, the fishaholics, I should say, actually, they love to see me go to a new area and kind of break it down and explore, something that I'm seeing for the first time and then catching fish. And I love to do that as well. And I really want to get out to California, and I want to try and catch West Coast striped bass and halibut, calico bass.
Sure.
For those of you that don't know, that I think in like the 1800s, they caught striped bass in the Hudson, and then they loaded them on a train and drove them across the country and stocked them over there.
Hold on. The next guy I'm stopping you there because the next gentleman who's going to be coming on, I have Orlando from NorCal Cat Lures. Do you know him? Have you heard of him? He's very popular in the West Coast and here on the East Coast. He's got a 15-month waiting list for his lures. He is into conservation like crazy for the striped bass, and he knows the story exactly. Is Orlando on right now, hon?
Yeah. So I think.
Let me see if we could get Orlando. You on?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, pal. How you doing, man? Nice of you to call in. So we have a fishaholic here tonight. That's name is Rich. He was just asking. He was like saying, catching fish on the Hudson and then loading them and then bringing them on to the West Coast. Before you ask your question, could you give us a little bit of detail on that?
Yeah, it wasn't the Hudson here. It actually was the Navasink out of New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so that's good.
They did bring like I think was like 130 fish via the train, which is freaking pretty remarkable.
It is.
It probably took them weeks to get them all the way across. But they plant them out in the San Pablo Bay, which is just east or just west of the California Delta. It wasn't successful, so they did it one more time, and on the second time, they brought 300. And from there, it just exploded. At one time, we had a biomass of over 6 million stripers out here. They even had a commercial fishery in the early 1920s, but unfortunately, that started to wipe out the population really quick, and they stopped the commercial fishery in the 30s. So, but yeah,
Thank you.
All the strain of striped bass we have here are 100% pure strain striped bass from the East Coast. So,
wow, excellent. So you
cool.
got that, Rich. Thank you for that. You started that up on the next caller. You got like, what is that, telepathic reading. You knew about that before I was coming. All right, so Orlando, you do have a question for Fishaholics.
Well, yeah, I
So
heard
go
that
ahead,
he wants
buddy.
to come to California. Just so you know, Rich, I'd be open to showing you the Northern California part whenever you want to do that. My doors are open. But I hope you understand that California fishing, it's like fishing in New Jersey and also fishing in Florida. California is a big state. So if you're looking to catch salmon and like stripers, you're going to have to be in Northern California, which is like San Francisco, Bay Area. If you're looking to catch halibut and calicos, you're looking at probably San Diego or in Los Angeles, which is Southern California. So you're talking about 8-9 hours of difference driving from up north to down south. So
That electric bike isn't going to work there. That's for sure. We're going to need a car for this one.
yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
Very, very
But yeah.
informative, Orlando. Thank you for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but my
Yeah,
question to
thank
you,
you for the
since
info.
you like, what was that?
I said thank you for the info. But yeah, I'm down to travel, and I've actually been studying San Francisco Bay for a few years now, and I read fishing reports out there, and they do catch halibut and stripers there. So I was thinking about just going there, but
Yeah, we do have a good healthy population of California halibut in the San Francisco Bay. It's going to be primarily a lot of it from like a charter boat. You know, you do have your opportunities. You could do it from shore, but it's a lot harder than what most people think it is. You know, so.
Very cool. Very cool information, man. This is more than I thought I was going to get. Excellent. Orlando.
And the question? Go
Yeah,
ahead,
the question, Orlando. Go ahead,
Okay,
buddy.
so my question to you, I see you like catching a lot of species, from a variety of obviously all the areas you're visiting. If money was not an object, what species would you chase? Even if you had to travel anywhere around the world, what species would be your number one choice and why?
Oh, well, so that's actually, I'm going to have to pull up my map here.
Excellent.
I forget the island, but, there's a little island off the continent of Australia, and it's off this island. There's actually a flat that I've read about that has baby marlin that you can catch on a flat with light tackle. And I'm scrolling to Australia right now, and let's see, what's the name of the island? Stradlebroke Island, I think. Maybe that's it. Oh no, here it is. Fraser Island. Fraser Island on the east coast of Australia is. If money wasn't an option, I'd be flying out tomorrow to try and catch
Baby
marlin there.
Wow.
On the fly rod or on a light spinning rod. Like, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? Yes, they're not like the giant ones, but again, like it would be just as sporty, like lightening the tackle, or you my old boss who I worked for in Montauk, Captain Dave, he caught marlin up to 1,000 pounds. Like, but some of those marlin he fought for an hour. Some of them he fought for 3 hours. So like. I don't know if I want to fight a marlin for 3 hours.
I'm pretty sure, though, that baby's going to be a little softer on that.
Yeah, not as long as a fight.
Orlando, that was a great question. Orlando, I'm not going to let you go that quick. Do you have anything else you want to ask Rich here? Anything you want to say to him?
Ask Orlando the same question that he asked me.
There you go, Orlando.
Yeah, I would probably stick to very similar area. There's a part in Australia that has these kind of similar flats. It's really expensive to get there, but if money was an object, it's basically these flats where these giant GT trevally come in, and they follow these stingrays to come in to feed in these flats, and that's the type of fishing I would just love. It's a lot of sight fishing. To me, I've tried catching giant trevally in Hawaii. It's super hard, especially offshore off the rocks. It's hard. Even if you hook one, it's good luck trying to land it. It's really difficult. So, but yeah, I would try to do something like that.
Yeah,
excellent. Hey, Orlando, I just want to say thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Now I'm going to give Rich an opportunity. Anything you want to say to Orlando before he goes, Rich?
Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, and I'll have to get your contacts from Eric here,
Yes.
Poseidon, and we'll have to set something up in California.
There you go.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Thank you, Orlando.
Awesome.
Okay, buddy. Talk to
Bless
you later.
you and the family, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we got another caller. One more caller on waiting here. That's Mario Gandini. He has a little business himself. He makes bucktails, and the name of the company, honey, is
It's Mug 'em
Up.
Mug 'em Up.
Mug 'em Up Bucktails. That's right. I wanted my wife to say that. My wife is busy now getting him on.
Yeah,
So yeah, all right. So we'll talk until we get him on, and then we'll go. Oh, those were good questions. I like
Mario
okay,
Gandini subscriber.
There he goes. All right. So I was going to say that I like the way that you really scout, man. You're not even there in Australia. You're looking at the waters. You know the flats. You're reading about whatever kind of fishing is going on, how they catch. I never even knew you could fish for baby marlin, dude.
I'm a fish nerd.
My goodness, that's a good thing to be, though. That's
when say if people of my age say they're right before they go to bed they're on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever social media of any kind. I might do that for a minute and then I put it away and then I'm reading about like different like fishing destinations or like cool stuff that I love to do.
Well,
so like where I am now and the kind of fishing that I'm doing now was kind of just the same way that I had a dream to live in Montauk. I had a dream to catch snook all the time and tarpon and jack crevalle when I was a teenager and a kid. So I'm accomplishing that, which is awesome. And thanks to all the fishaholics, thank you guys so much. And now I'd love to just keep it going and see where else I could go and do something epic like catch baby marlin on a flat. Like that.
Now you got me going. Call me when you're going. I'll see if I got enough money in the bank. Maybe I'll jump on the plane.
All right.
I'll sit on the wing or something if there's no room, But anyway, yeah, that's exciting stuff, man. That's really exciting stuff. So, again, is he ready to go? Yeah? Here we go. Hey, Mario, how you doing, buddy?
There. Can you hear him?
Mario? Oh, I don't hear him.
Okay, wait. There you go.
Hey, Mario?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, buddy, loud and clear. How you doing?
Good, Eric. What's going on? Great show. Rich,
great. Thank you.
Great to have you on.
Thank you, Mario. Listen, Mario, I want to tell you that everybody out there, Mario's been a subscriber for a little over a year, longer than a year. And the first time I met him was at my first annual, and you got to listen to this, Mr. Fishaholic Rich, my first annual Montauk 3-day challenge. I had it last year. I'm having my second one this year. The dates of that are going to be October 20, 21st, and 22nd. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Climaxing with a nice party in my room that night. And the trophies and the prizes will be given out. Last year, Gelso won first prize with $850. Guys, you can go. What's the site they can go on and register if they want, honey?
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. You can go there. Punch in Mr. Poseidon and everything will come up. All the information, rules, regulations, and try to make it. We had a great time last year. It was wonderful. Montauk's a beautiful place, especially in the fall. We got a great chance to catch fish. We went last year, and again, I'm going to say Gelso won first prize last year, $850. The more people that join, the bigger the prize gets. Thanks for that one, guys, and see you in Montauk. Mario, continuing now with you, buddy. Do you want to say anything to Rich, a question or anything like that?
Yeah, Rich, nice to have you on. Your content on the videos are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I remember watching the very first video. I went, it's funny because I went to Montauk and I was one of those idiots with the waders, with the boots. And I was like, I got to get corkers. So I you type in corkers and then you go to the video. When you Google it, and I'm like, who's this lunatic running from one end of the lighthouse to the other side? And sure enough, there you are.
I remember that video.
That's the greatest video. If you want to see how... Yeah, I remember. Like, if you want to know if corkers work, they work. Just watch that video.
Yeah. No doubt about it. I remember that video.
So my question...
Go ahead.
So my question is, and... if you go down to Montauk and it's we all know it's dangerous and everything like that. But when you're fishing, I see a lot of your videos. A lot of the fish are up close, correct? A lot of fish strike right at your feet.
In some spots, yeah, especially on say the south side or even on the north side. I mean, they can hit way out on the end of the cast, or they can hit right in front of you around the rocks. So
correct. So my question is, when it starts getting closer to the shoreline, what's there? A ton of kelp. And you always get snagged up. What's the best way to avoid the kelp? Like your techniques, the lures you're using, how do you know where the kelp is?
it does have to do with a lot with like the weight of your lure and also the speed of your retrieve, but it also depends on knowing where the slightly deeper water is, and like sometimes I'm wading out 30 or 40 yards into the ocean to get on a rock where I might only be then once I'm on the rock I'm only in knee deep of water, and then I'm probably casting out into 6, 7, 8 feet of water and then working it in. It all depends. I mean, if are you venturing out into the surf more, or are you staying like only going in ankle deep, or are you getting out on the outer rocks? What are you doing?
Well, there are times where I'll go out on the outer rocks and I'll try to pass over the kelp. Obviously, there are times where I just don't feel like going on top of the rock, so I'll stay at the shoreline. And then that's when the kelp becomes an issue. Any techniques of getting out of the kelp? Because if you pull on that lure coming back at you like a rocket.
Oh yeah, well to get it out, like what I usually do to take the spring out of it, if you're pulling on it that's on the kelp, is you always point the rod tip at the snag or at the rock, and then you can either cup the reel and pull straight back, or if it's on like the corner of a rock, then you just go left or right, and then you try and jiggle it free, and usually it comes out. But again, like if you're surf fishing and you don't want to venture far out, and you find yourself snagging more kelp, then you're either going to have to go to a lighter lure, or you're going to have to go to a top water lure so that you're up above everything.
Excellent.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. No, that's it. Like I said, the kelp could be a nuisance to anybody.
Yeah, no doubt, Mario.
It's probably not just at Montauk, probably other areas that are just as rocky. So yeah, no, it's great information. I appreciate that.
And again, I'm gonna say that Mario, I know you make bucktails also in your businesses. You want to tell them a little bit about that before you go?
Yeah, I do make bucktails. I obviously not.
You make beautiful bucktails, buddy.
Yeah, I don't put them out in stores because once again, watching a lot of videos, guys want certain bucktails. They want more hair, less hair, keep it up top, less hair, bring it, it'll drop it down. So I like to know how you like your bucktails. Obviously, every area is different.
I like a little extra hair on the bucktails because I like it to have a nice floating action, especially if you're like fishing in an inlet or a channel with a lot of current. The more hair, I feel like it's going to swing better. But every spot's different. If you're using a smaller bucktail and you want it to get down a little deeper, or smaller and lighter, then you have a little less hair so it doesn't hurt.
Correct.
I think growing up, I used to use a lot of fin strike bucktails. I don't really see too many of them around anymore.
I like thick myself. I love the jetty surfcasters.
Yeah,
I love
they
those.
have thick hair on them,
Yeah.
and with fin strike, they would have thinner hair all the way up into 1 1/4 ounce, and then after that, everything would be thick hair, which was kind of weird. But under 1 1/4 was thin, and I mean I never when fishing Montauk, if you're fishing in shallow water, sometimes I prefer the 1 ounce with the thinner hair and the 3/4, especially for fishing the south side. If I was fishing in the daytime, and if it wasn't big surf, if it was small waves, summer surf, nice easy rollers, then I would use those smaller.
I'm in the same boat as you. I won't ever go over an ounce in certain areas I fish in Montauk. And that's why I asked you, Mario, to send me nothing but 3/4 and ounces when you made them for me. And I did catch a fish with yours. Thank you very much, Mario.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did, buddy.
Rich, I got one more question. Eric, if you don't mind. Plugs. Plugs have been super popular. Your trollers, your junior trollers. Do you throw those out a lot? The wooden plugs?
What are you talking about?
Just trollers or the junior trollers.
Are you
Danny
talking
Plug,
about Montauk specifically, or?
or in general? In general, do you like using those, or?
I'm not a huge fan of them. I have, you're talking like about metal lips and basically?
Yeah, correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah. I don't think they work. I mean, I've never gotten on like a good bite with them, say like in Eastern Long Island or in New England where I fish. Jersey, yeah, like when they're on the bunker and like the water is like a little, like I found like a little discolored water, like especially in the fall or the spring. I have caught the stripers really well on metal lips, and I mean I think if you go like way back on my channel. There was a fall day hitting the surf in Jersey, and there was like a bunch of guys on the beach, and I was throwing SP minnows and like sub walkers, and they even had like the bunker pattern on them, and I caught like one fish in like an hour or two, and like other guys around me had metal lips, and then I run back to the car, I get a little white metal lip, throw it out there, and then it's like every cast it was a fish eating the metal lip. So, like, they definitely do have, I think, like a tantalizing wobble that for when stripers get into a certain pattern, that's like the right action that they want, and that's all they're going to eat. So, like, they can be selective like that.
Cow bass, you hear that out there? Metal lip, cow bass.
So,
That's
I'm not saying that everywhere you go, always have one in your bag, but I'm saying it doesn't hurt to always have one in the truck, or 2 or 3 in the truck.
Sure.
And if you go to Jersey, then I would have one in my bag, like always.
Yes,
like
always.
In fall, especially.
I love Jersey too. I got my passes. I can't wait to go this year on the beach park. Go fishing. Let's go.
It was pretty good in Jersey this spring. It was
excellent.
Really
yeah, it was excellent, Rich. It was excellent. All right, so we're winding down. I've kept.
Thanks, Mario.
Mario, thank you so much tonight for coming on. I appreciate you. Thank you to your family. I know you went over your sisters tonight. You came home a little early for this. Thank you so much, and bless the family, Mario.
Thanks, Eric. You too, Rich. But thanks for coming on the Poseidon show.
Of course. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See you later, buddy. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
Nice.
All right, that was nice. Good questions. Good thing. All right, so anybody out there right now who's left, you want to ask a question, write it up on the board. We're standing by. Any questions you want to ask Rich, Fishaholic? We're winding it down right now. We're going to have that giveaway and call it a night for tonight. I don't want it to end. I really want to stay on all night and do a 24-hour marathon. But Rich said anything over an hour and a half, it's 400 an hour. So we got to make this an hour. No, he didn't say that. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding, everybody. Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we got any questions up there coming up yet? Come on, guys. Where are the questions? Put them up. Put them up.
Somebody earlier was asking, when are you coming back to Rhode Island, Rich?
Ah, there you go.
I'd actually I want to get up to Maine actually and do some surfing. When I was up in Montauk last week, I was thinking about going up to Rhode Island or Massachusetts, but I didn't pull the trigger. Like the fishing was so good in Montauk that I stayed there. But
I want to catch a fish before you catch a fish in Maine, so don't go yet, please. I'm kidding, Rich. I'll be there in about 2 weeks myself, 2-3 weeks. Maybe I'll see you up there if you're fishing.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm just reading some of the comments now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ang the Gorilla Angler said, fishing is slow, beach is empty. With what 3 lures are you throwing?
There you go.
That's a good question. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure like everyone out there has found themselves in that situation, and typically, if I'm in that situation, like I start like shrinking my profile size. I'll start throwing like 3/4 ounce bucktails, usually like a white bucktail. I might even trim the tail a little bit to like match the size, like match the equal size of the jig. Also, the Fishaholic pinback shad, and probably a diamond jig too. Cover a lot of water.
Sure.
I would use maybe like a 007 or an A17, and I actually prefer a white, amber, or a like neon like green tail. those are like my preferences when it comes to tail colors. And
Right. I see. We can put these two questions pretty much together. We have Surfcasting Chris. He says, Rich, I see you use soft plastics a lot. How do you prefer to retrieve your shad specifically?
My shad specifically, if I'm on a sandy ocean surf, I'll cast it out. I'll let it hit the bottom, jig it up, start that retrieve. You can feel that paddle tail moving. Pause it, or just stop the retrieve, and then lower the rod and jig up again, and then keep the reel going. You don't want it to hit the bottom or bounce it on the bottom. I only hit it the bottom the first time just to get it down there, because every beach is different. Some beaches drop off like this, some go out gradual like that.
Right.
So you have to find out by hitting the bottom. If I'm fishing a rocky shoreline, and especially some areas that I know, I don't want it to hit the bottom because I'm going to get snagged. So as soon as it hits the water, I'm starting the retrieve just like how I'm retrieving it on the sandy beach. Like after I hit it the bottom, I hit the water, start the retrieve, stop, jig.
There you go.
Jig. Stop, jig. And if you think about it, any kind of bait fish is never swimming in a straight. Like they change. If they're evading a predator, they're changing directions, or they're trying not to get eaten.
Sure.
So when you're stopping and pausing that jig, it's going along, and then it's going like that, so it's changing direction, and 90% of the time, right after the jig, if you watch my videos, you hear me like, oh, right after the jig,
yes.
fish on.
Yeah.
That's when they whack it, and I feel like they're probably following right behind it, and then they see that jig and then they hit it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put these two questions together. We have here Striper Hunter. 2112. He says, Rich, can you comment on your Visser reel? But before you answer, Catskill Outdoors says, Rich, which do you prefer, Visser or Van Stol? So I don't know how you want to answer that both, but pretty close.
All right. Well, growing up, I was very fortunate. Like my dad, he invested. Like he bought a couple Van Stols, and he allowed me to use one growing up. And I still have that till this day, actually. And I using when I was 13. Very fortunate for that. And so it's going the test of time, it's an amazing reel. I started using the Vissers a little more because I wanted to just test something new and see how it holds up. And when I got my first Visser, which is the number 7, I used it in the Florida Keys for tarpon. And it was very like stiff and almost like grindy, and I put it away. I put it away for like months, and I put it in the box, didn't take it out again. And then when I was actually running charters this summer, I needed like an extra bigger reel, so I took it out and I was like, all right, let me use this freaking thing like on the boat. And it ended up loosening up a little bit, and it ended up becoming one of my favorite reels. And
nice.
And the number 7, though, I'm being completely honest, when you stop using it for a little while, it stiffens up again. But I have a number 5, and the number 5 isn't like that. Like as soon as I got it right out of the box, it was smooth, really, as smooth as a fully sealed reel can be. It's been, really smooth since I took it out of the box, and even if I set it down for a week or two and then I pick it up, it's still really smooth and haven't had any issues with it. And it's probably one of my favorite like inshore reels, whether I'm in the kayak or if you saw some recent talk videos, I was using it in the surf up there and in the boat, and it did everything, and it got the job done. That number 5 Visser. So I highly recommend that reel. And I've caught everything on that from tarpon up to 5 feet, snook to 20 pounds, and now like I caught a big stripers up to 47 inches. On talk.
Wow.
So yeah.
I remember you caught a nice striper. You were using those tubes, those green and red tubes that night, and you were just catching big fish one after another. It was night. It was late. I don't know if you remember that one.
Kayak or?
You were on the kayak that night catching them, and you were using those long tubes. That was a couple of years.
I make those tubes myself. They're not
Yes, I
hard
know
to
you
make.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, stripers love them. And
They
so
do
do
love 'em.
barracuda down here.
Ah, there you go. I got another great question here. Here it is. This is a good one. How do you handle being the best surf fisherman out of all your friends?
I don't know if I'm the best, but
Oh, you're the best, buddy. Please. You're the best.
I have some friends from Montauk that like my one friend Ben McCarran. He, some of you guys may have know him, but he's a local and he grew up fishing Montauk, and he has like 3 or 4 50-pounders from the surf under his belt.
Wow.
And yeah, like he's, I mean, growing up there, like, and how much time he got to put in, on the surf there, and
Right.
he knows a lot. So I have to give him credit, and I've learned a lot from him too.
Sure.
So
As we have learned a lot from you, Rich.
yeah, thank
Definitely,
you.
definitely, brother. All right. So basically, I'm
There's
sorry.
always- I like to say that there's always, like, every fisherman that I meet, no matter what level they're at, I'm like a sponge. So I'm gonna learn something from everyone. So and I always go in with an open mind. So
Right.
As that you should, my friend. No doubt about it. Any person who's looking to learn and do the right thing has to go in with an open mind. And I do all the time. I take all advice, and when I come home, I bitch to my wife because I really know everything. No, I don't. I'm kidding. And I don't bitch to my wife, but I sit there like an open sponge myself, and I try to learn as much as I can, because the more information you have, the better chances you have of catching a fish out there.
You
All right.
wanna ask that question from
Which one?
Ocean State Bass Fishing?
Yeah.
What was it like pulling up a bull shark on a Shimano Stratic?
Do you remember that,
What-
Rich?
I don't remember that now.
Ocean State Bass Fishing, if you could give us a little bit more identity or description on that video, maybe he can,
Shimano Stratic.
Oh, in the Florida Keys, or
let's see, in the Florida Keys, buddy.
that the shark video that hit the kayak, that one.
Oh, that was a cool one, dude. That was like,
I didn't really pull that bull shark up. If you go back and watch that video,
yeah, he said yes, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch that video really closely, or if you watch it like frame by frame, I had a grouper on, and I was just when I pulled the grouper up, that's when the shark came in and ate that, and I only found that out. It happened like that.
Yeah, it
like
did.
a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It happened. And I only found that out by watching it in like super slow mo, frame by frame, like on my editing. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and I was like, holy shit! Like I had a good sized grouper on. I wanted that grouper.
Yeah, right. No doubt about it.
Shark came up and ate it, and then just started running, and then
Wow.
I just popped the reel and broke them off because I was like, there's no way. Like I'm not gonna land it like or anything.
Yeah, I see Karina Duty. She says that was so scary. It was. When I first watched that video, I was just like shocked. I was like, what? I was like, no way. And you loved it. You loved every minute of that, Rich. I could see it in you. You live for that stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome, and that got my heart racing, and that's probably one of like my most viewed videos now. Like a lot of
Yeah.
So I had to put my life on the line, but that's okay.
It sucks, right? It stinks that you got to do that to get a great video out there. Anyway,
Yeah,
all your videos are good. Anyway, all your videos are good, buddy. But that is a little exciting, that one. I must admit, that was really exciting. Let's put it that way. Honey, anything else?
What else? A lot of great comments. Everybody's really enjoying the show.
Yeah,
They love
yeah.
having you on as a guest.
Of course.
Rich.
Every it's like,
Love it.
I told Bill Wetzel when he was on, I said, I feel like, like Mickey Mantle's on the show. So I'm trying to think of who I can picture you as. And since we mentioned the Yankee, maybe we should say, well, I feel like I have Tom Seaver on right now, you know? So try to get this as close as we can. I know you know Bill Wetzel personally yourself also. You've met him. Really a wonderful guy, Rich. He is the gentleman who got me started in the surf fishing world, really understanding the fish, really understanding how to hunt it. The whole thing, he taught me the whole scenario, and he taught me Montauk, much more to learn in Montauk. Always new things to learn. But Bill Wetzel, thank you very much for getting me started on my surf fishing career, which was about 15 years total now. I fished, Rich, for 30 years with a Speedo bathing suit on Field 6 in Jones Beach. I caught hundreds of sharks over the years, hundreds of stingrays, and I've caught very, very short stripers. I always caught small stripers. I mean, it's sandy over there. So in the morning, a lot of times, I'd catch a couple of schoolies here and there. But I had great times. And like I said, meeting Bill Wetzel and introducing me to the surf fishing world was a real plus for my life. As you can see, where I've taken this, because I love fishing so much, and meeting people out there every day such as yourself. This is like a great, I learned quite a few things tonight that I'm definitely going to go out there now and look to hunt those 4 species that you mentioned. When I was in Florida last month with my wife in the Naples area, we went down, what was the boat area?
It was like Bonita Springs.
Bonita Springs, and there was a captain. We went out there with Captain Phil Pica. We went out with him, and where his boat was, Rich, there was 50 snook all over the place. If you watch that video with me in Florida, guys, you'll see me at the beginning. They're coming up to me like I'm going to feed them. And I was just so like, wow, Florida is really it. This is where the fish are. And we went out, and I caught... what were they called again?
The permit?
Yeah, the permit. Oh, my goodness, what a fight. And I got myself my first ever...
Cobia?
Yep, cobia I got over there. And that was a great... the captain helped me out all the way, nice and slow. I didn't have heavy tackle on. But I did bring it in. It was a 30-pound cobia. We got to share the meat with all my family down there. And like you said, Rich, there isn't anything better than having fresh fish meat. And I don't want to sound like a carnivore or anything. I am, but I like my fish. I really do, and my shellfish very much. But I do respect the laws and follow everything, and everybody else out there should. Keep the areas clean that you're going to fish in, and just fish right. Do the right thing always. Rich, before we, you know what? Let's have that drawing right now. You want to hang out with us a few minutes, Rich, for this drawing?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out anyway.
Cool. So let's do that drawing right now on
right, I'll pull it
Good luck to everybody. This is for the, let me put the overhead on. This is for the Scabellys metal lip here. It really is a nice lure here, guys. It's replicating like a, you could say like a bunker sort of with the dots on there. But a beautiful fish. Somebody's going to win this and catch a big striper with it.
Okay.
Are we ready, honey? So it came up, Oski.
Okay, yeah, we have Oski 007.
Put it on the main
Start
screen so they
live.
can see that. They don't see it.
One second.
You got to bring it over. It's still on that transition. There you go. All right, Oski, congratulations on that. And you know what? You know what's funny? It's Oski's birthday.
Oh.
It's his birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Oski, happy birthday. I guess you deserve to win that one. That's for sure. It's your birthday. Guys, next week we'll have the Ebbpoint bag. That's a single tube. Comes with the tube inside, and I do have a nice lure for you guys inside. We'll reveal that during the week on Instagram, and come to the show next week. Make sure you leave a comment on the bottom of this video. Thanks very much for everybody for coming. Back to Rich now. Rich, final thing I want to ask you is, did you enjoy the show, Rich? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, that was awesome. I don't do a whole lot of live streams. Maybe I'll start doing some more. This is
I think they're gonna steal you from me now. I think every live stream is gonna be calling you up now. Hey, why'd you go on that guy's show? I got 1 million subscribers. But anyway. Thank you, Rich.
It was really nice of you to come on.
This was
Loved
really
having
nice.
You.
We loved having you. Yeah.
And
What-
thanks to everyone watching. I hope I didn't bore anyone with my
No way.
stories and stuff like that. And,
Not at all. I think we
Oh,
can't get enough.
Yeah, we
just-
couldn't get
can't
enough, man. I'm serious,
Fishaholic.
man. This was really,
Love
really
it.
great. I got the great Fishaholic fishing. You
means a
can.
lot.
What's that?
I said it means a lot that you guys.
Oh yeah, of course, man. Of course. Follow good people here and subscribe to good people. But I guess that's it, honey, for the show, right? I want to
That's it.
thank everybody out there. Carl Bove, Jay Falco, Brooklyn Fishers, Karina Duty, D Bar, how you doing, buddy? Chuck Dumas, Ocean State Bass Fishing, Tom Hood, Hyper for Striker, Gundy Sosha, how you doing, buddy? Wormway, thank you, James Flynn. Oh, who else do we got out there? WR, what's up, buddy? South Shore, Long Island Woodcraft. I got that message today, buddy. Catskill Outdoors, Ange the Gorilla Angler was here a couple of weeks ago. Surfcaster Chris. Everybody else I missed out there, I'm sorry. Rich, thank you so much for coming to the show tonight. We hope to have you on again one day. Maybe in the fall season you could take a sneak peek with us and tell us how the fishing has been going.
All right, I'm down. Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. And I'm going to go to Maine. I'll text you. I'll let you know if you're free. I'll be up there. I'll be hanging. I'll be fishing for the stripers. Thank you, everybody. Thanks
Good
to my
night,
wife.
everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mario
night,
Gandini,
Rich.
Orlando. Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Dead.